Welcome to Testosterothon, 28 movies so manly they'll turn every vegetable in a 50-mile radius into steak. Die Hard has a pretty interesting story behind it. Did you know that it's kinda, sorta, but not really a sequel? Die Hard is based on a book, Nothing Lasts Forever by Roderick Thorpe. The novel was a sequel to one of his other books, The Detective, which had a movie made out of it starring Frank Sinatra. When it came time to adapt Nothing Lasts Forever, they were legally obligated to ask Frank Sinatra if he wanted to star in it, but he turned it down. They then tried to get Arnold Schwarzenegger and retooled the script as being a sequel to Commando, but he also declined it. The director, John McTiernan, really wanted Bruce Willis, but the producers were like, "What? That guy from Moonlighting? Are you insane?" But after finally getting an audition, everyone had to agree that this role was meant for Bruce Willis. So the reason I'm not including The Detective as being part of the Die Hard series is because the character was completely retooled, even renamed. So while it's based on a book that was a sequel, the movie itself is not. Hope that clears that up. Anyway, Willis plays John McClane, a New York City cop who travels out to LA to visit his wife, who he hasn't seen in a while because after she got a job in LA, he refused to move out there with the rest of his family due to wanting to keep his job as a New York cop. He travels out there to try and reconcile at a Christmas party she's having at her job in a skyscraper that she works in. However, just as he arrives, the building is seemingly taken over by terrorists who are demanding all sorts of political prisoners to be released and taking everyone there hostage. McClane is not with the hostages since he was in the bathroom changing when this all went down, so he eludes capture and starts taking them out one by one, while also frantically looking for a way to call for backup, which at first is only a single cop played by Reginald VelJohnson, who always seems to be a cop, but escalates into full police force and the FBI. The head villain is Hans Gruber, played by Alan Rickman. This was Alan Rickman's first movie role. Previous to this, he'd only done stage and television roles, and think about this. Alan Rickman was 42 years old and still trying to break into Hollywood. I guess you should never give up, huh? Anyway, the terrorists are only actually pretending to be terrorists. They're actually a gang of thieves out to steal valuable bonds, while keeping the police and federal agents at bay by forcing them to go through the elaborate process of negotiating with terrorists who have hostages. McClane finds out the truth as he's taking them apart, and has to deal with the police and FBI on the ground making bad decisions due to the fact that they are under the assumption that they're dealing with terrorists, not thieves. Willis spends most of the time as a lone wolf, hiding out in deserted parts of the building and slowly picking off the thieves one by one, while also trying his best to ensure the safety of everyone involved, including his wife. The movie is tense and has some great action, but what really makes it work is Bruce Willis's performance as McClane. In this film, he doesn't come across as a super cop or an action star. Instead, he's a guy in the wrong place at the wrong time who is blessed with ingenuity, daring, and quick wits, but seems like he could be just any cop, not a superhero. What also works is Reginald VelJohnson's role as what seems like the only sane cop on the LAPD, and McClane's biggest supporter. The dialogue between the two is great, especially considering that they never actually meet until the end of the movie. So, just think of it this way. This movie first was going to star the 73-year-old Frank Sinatra, then it was going to be Commando 2, which didn't really need to happen. The fact that a comedy actor wound up in an action role is something that could only spell disaster, but Die Hard made Bruce Willis into an action star. And of course, it spawned 4 sequels. We'll get to those in the next few days. Die Hard is a favorite of mine, and I usually watch it around Christmas time because it takes place on Christmas Eve, and if I'm going to watch a Christmas movie, it sure as hell isn't going to be a Christmas story. It's going to be fucking Die Hard, bitches! On the machismo meter, this one scores a 9. It's pretty damn manly, and by the end, Willis looks like one of the guys from Contra if they got blown up a few dozen times. For the regular score, you know what? I'm also going to give it a 9. It's one of the golden standards of action films, and it's a load of fun with lots of great performances.